everybody. Welcome back to. Hang on, let me know how the audio balance is right now. So welcome to Friday Nights with Film Nerd number 7. Now, hang on, the music's a bit loud on my end. So, just wanted to first say I'm sorry that I didn't stream last week. Just some things IRL came up. But yeah, I'm back now. So, for tonight's stream, we're probably just gonna read some more of the Not So Awesome documents. Last time the last person I got to was, I believe, Leon Thomas. So we're just gonna go ahead and move forward with the documents. So this first one we got is Sean Fowles, and I actually had to look up some of these people because I'm gonna be honest, like we can't hear it. Okay, hang on, let me. Oh wait, hang on, I almost forgot. Okay, how about, alright, sorry, I forgot to join the recording studio channel in my Discord. Got the microphone also right near me, so hopefully you guys can hear me better. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so a lot of these people I had to look up because, I gotta be honest, a lot of them I hadn't heard of before, or I had heard of them, but I wasn't too familiar with their stuff. So, this first guy we got is Sean Fowles. I believe he was like a video game reviewer on the site. I just remember he was like a really big guy, and that's about it. Nothing too special other than that. Oh, probably shouldn't have shown that. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get started with Sean Fowles' epic fail. When I was at CA in the first year of it or so, I found myself regularly in a group call with Mashad, Bargo, and sometimes Ellis, Aussie, Rollo, and myself. Usually some sort of mix and match of all of those. During but sometimes calls would end up being just Rollo T, myself, and Ellis. We all had a pretty different sense of humor, and our personalities worked out, and we'd sometimes just spend convos just laughing our asses off at whatever the hell we would talk about that night. However, one night in particular after a call, Alice kept messaging me afterwards on Skype. Excuse me. This wasn't unusual. We'd usually just BS about stuff. However, he was supposedly intoxicated. I say supposedly because that's the excuse I heard later. But he was typing very coherently, so no one misspelled word during our conversation. What started as a simple enough conversation quickly became a very uncomfortable. I think it's supposed to be he became very uncomfortable, not a very, but whatever. He kept asking more personal details, eventually going full into, I heard from a little birdie that you were gay. Oh, I heard you were at least bi. Oh, so you're just curious about guys then. Really, really pushing, as if he was fishing or for something. Maybe he was desperate. Dr. Plague in the chat says, my dick can make feta cheese. You know what? That's very valuable insight. Thank you for sharing that. Let's go ahead and just keep going. This conversation quickly turned very one-sided and even more uncomfortable as he went on telling me all the things he wanted to do to me. The things he wanted me to do to him. Just give him a shot, he said. Okay, now I know. Alright, so this is honestly the only thing I really heard about this guy. Is that he and Mike Ellis, who is one of the higher-ups at Channel Awesome, one time had him on a Skype call and basically like sexually harassed him, like to the point of where he more or less was hitting on the guy. That's really all I remember, other than just him being a video game guy on the site and being pretty big. I see some people in the chat are going off. Very good stuff. Anyway, okay. This went on for 2 hours. For these 2 hours, I typed not one word to him, but he had this entire conversation with himself and multiple times tried the whole, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you off tactic on me, as if it was going to make things better. I showed the conversation log to 2 people. I believe I showed part of it to Rollo T, because I was freaked the fuck out, and he was the guy I trusted the most. And I remember him being completely blown away. The other person I showed was Mashad, which, if you've seen some of the past streams I've done on this subject, you'll know that Mashad is, you know, just the most pleasant guy in the world. You know, definitely a very trustworthy individual, I'd say, you know, top tier. I messaged Mashad telling him, look what this guy is doing. I'm super freaked out. And keep in mind, I believe this is just before the anniversary brawl. The only thing I ever heard from Mashad was, damn it, I told him he couldn't be doing this shit. I'll take care of it. And then it was never spoken of again. I never heard from Ellis again, and I have zero idea if that was part of the reason he was fired from the company or not. So, just to reiterate, this is a guy who apparently, this isn't the only time he's done this sort of shit. This is something he's done numerous times, which, yeah, and the fact that, like, their response wasn't like, oh god, no, we're so sorry, we'll handle this. No, their response was just, oh god, he's doing it again. Fine, alright, we'll deal with it. Yeah, that's, that's not a good sign. Anyway, weirdly enough, the Seinfeld hatred that I sometimes joke about actually has to do with this story. Two of the things Ellis said to me during that have stuck in my head because of how pathetic and how fucking weird it was. One, he kept calling me his sexual cupcake. What the fuck is that? Sexual cupcake. Yeah, this this isn't creepy at all, not in the slightest. Two, after those hours of him talking to himself, he finally gave up talking to me, but he did make one last ditch effort to hit on me, and it by far was the worst pickup line I've ever been given. Hey, 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 Sean, hey, Cupcake. Do you like Seinfeld? No, I do not. Yeah, that's not creepy at all. What is going on in the chat right now? Wow, you guys are... Oh, hell? Hang on just one sec. Hang on. Sorry, just bear with me for 1 second. God, this Mac computer, like, I don't know, it just gets really annoying sometimes. I'm stupid. Okay, hang on. Just bear with me. Yeah, it just really shows you how professional this whole. Oh no, wait. Sorry, I just had a brain fart for a minute. I thought something was wrong with my little guy there, but nope, he's still there. So, yeah, just a little retarded there for a second. Anyway, let's get back to this. Okay, so the next person we got is Beth Elderkin. This is another one I had to look up because I saw the name and I was like, wait, who? And yeah, I vaguely remember her. She was on a series on the site called like Jumping the Shark, and I don't think I caught any of it, but I'm pretty sure it was a series about like when shows would, you know, jump the shark, like they would just go in really weird directions, just really all over the place. Sorry, just kind of checking Discord out really quick. All right. Okay, just wanted to check things out. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, she had done a series called Jumping the Shark, which I didn't really see, but I believe she would like cameo in a few Nostalgia Critic episodes. Like I think she was in the one he did on the 2004 Phantom of the Opera, but that's really all I know about her. But anyway, let's get into this. Before I share anything, let me state that for me, business and friendship are two different things. The Walkers and other CA crew have been and continue to be good friends of mine. Others may not share that view, and that's their right. Sorry, just taking a little drink. After I lost my last FT job, I'm assuming that means full-time job, I started working with Channel Awesome on a series called Awesome Comics. I was promised by Mike an hourly rate for what turned out to be several hour shoots, including waiting time. Travel time was my own cost, though in hindsight it shouldn't have been. It wasn't until after I'd recorded the first episode, along with taping a several-hour intro sequence, did I find out I'd only been paid for 1 hour, the hour I had been on camera. I raised my concerns about this because I was not told ahead of time that my pay would be 1/5 of what I was expecting. Hourly wages for actors and TV personalities doesn't start and end when the cameras roll. Management was understanding, but also told me Mike had said in no short words that Channel Awesome was already losing money and that they couldn't pay me the full hourly wage I'd been promised. They offered me a few bucks more for travel and I accepted. Looking back, I should not have done so. I was using up my entire workday to basically break even, given travel and food costs. And my time was worth more than that. Soon after, I got an offer to be IO9's weekend editor, and I accepted. It meant having to quit Channel Awesome a couple of months after I'd started, which I felt guilty about. But again, in hindsight, it was the right decision. Yeah, like honestly, between the two, like a website that's like still kind of hanging on, but is also crumbling from the inside, versus a very successful like news website, I believe. I'm not too familiar with IO9. Yeah, I would have definitely taken that job offer and just said, yeah, fuck you, Channel Awesome, I'm not dealing with your shit. Eventually, my working relationship with Channel Awesome ended. It was because of a number of things, namely my career. But I will say that if management had paid me what I was worth for Channel Awesome, I would have been more inclined to stay. I'm so grateful that my husband and I were brought into the Channel Awesome family, and I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. I made some wonderful friends, and my career grew thanks to my time there. But good experiences don't negate unacceptable ones. I share the story not to shame, but to educate. In a gig economy, we're tempted, coerced, and sometimes even forced to lower our value in order to get by. You're worth more than that, as was I. Some good words. Anyway. Let me just check the chat real quick, see how everything's going. Wow, the chat's really wildin' right now, from the looks of it. But yeah, let me know how you guys are doing tonight. I'm just kind of vibing here, just having a good time with y'all. But also, let me know how the audio balancing is on the stream, because I know some people earlier were saying that the audio was a little messed up to where you couldn't hear me. I've tried adjusting the audio a little bit. I've moved the mic closer to me, so okay. Goodly Draw says P good. Okay, good. Just making sure. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on then. So. Next we got Seafarer Wiki, which this is another one I had to look up. From what I could gather, they were part of like some X-Men fan site or whatever, where they would talk about the X-Men and other Marvel properties or some shit. I really don't know, and I couldn't really be bothered to care. But then they eventually stumbled across Channel Awesome. I just kind of started lurking there, and then eventually they got to work on the site's wiki. So let's see what they have to say. Wiki. In the beginning, Channel Awesome was sort of indifferent about the wiki. They treated us as nothing more than fans. Sure, we get special things like autographed DVDs. We even had a link on the sidebar on the old website. Sometimes they said they liked us, and then it was found out that the higher-ups did not like the wiki at all. It was strange because they'd say on streams that they liked them, when in actuality they did not. Excuse me. We found that several people were being talked about behind their backs while maintaining a facade. That was strange when you consider several websites work harmoniously with their corresponding wiki, like the Homestar Runner wiki. Excuse me. It's burping. The Chapman Bros use it constantly, and they've been around a lot longer than Channel Awesome. Blogs. It used to be relatively easy to contact the administration when it came to the blogs. Now errors pop up when users go to post. They just don't seem to care about fixing various errors which can be fixed. The site's management has often neglected to update various parts and leave the blogger spotlight untouched for months or even years at a time. So, once again, this is another case of management just not giving a shit about what they had. They were just like, it's a thing that's there, whatever, just do whatever you want with it. We really don't. We don't really give a shit. Um, yeah. So let's move on to the next person, Topher Ames, aka Fool Fantastic, which once again another person I had to look up because I did not know who this person was. Yeah, this admittedly is probably the least interesting part of the whole document, since we've already moved past some of the big names like Allison and Mars Girl and Linkara. I think we should be getting to Nostalgia Chick in a little bit, but it's going to be a while. So, let's go on to Topher Ames. I was invited to join the Channel Lawson team as a writer in late 2009. A very short time later, they warned us that the article section would soon be disappearing from the site. Why they would hire me so close to making that decision, I found a bit questionable. Not wanting to immediately lose my chance at having a platform, I decided to essentially tackle my article topics in video form. They were a bit rough, and I was perhaps a bit young at 17 to tackle essential cinema, but they got the point across, and they decided to pick up the series as Marvelous Movies. Oh yeah, okay, so when I was looking this person up, apparently they would write like movie reviews, and from what I understand, their reviews basically were just repeating the same things that you would find on like Rotten Tomatoes, and basically they were just like repeating what a lot of other people had said about movies. But apparently they had some pretty base things to say about video games. They had very controversial opinions, like they detested Halo, and yeah, they weren't very well liked by the community. Just check something real quick. Sorry, just kind of going around, seeing what's happening. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. So, okay. A little before I began creating my videos, Holly was hired as HR for Channel Lawson. She was essentially presented to me as someone who should be a main contact. A little bit later, Mike Ellis was let go. Up until that point, he was the one site runner I could get to consistently respond to me, though our discussions were a bit questionable, such the time he randomly mentioned the fact that he was high. After the third episode, a few issues began to pop up in my personal life. On the simplest level, it was my senior year of high school. Stress was kicking in as I was focused on school. But what really took my focus away from the site was that I was finally accepting that I was gay, which, living in a town of only 5,000 people in rural Illinois, is a scary experience. Now, I don't want to make accusations of homophobia and the like toward Channel Awesome, but at the same time, the idea of going to someone like Mashad and saying, "Hey, I'm having some issues with my sexual identity and need some time away from the site to figure things out," certainly didn't sound inviting. However, as I've said, Holly was presented to me like a key member of the team, and she had been open about her own association with the LGBTQ community. So naturally, I discussed coming out with her and made it clear my time would be occupied for a couple months. Of course, things don't go as smoothly as I had planned. Pretty soon, I was faced with the threat of not being allowed to go off to college due to coming out. So what was already a stressful period turned into a threat against my future. As you can probably imagine, creating content for That Guy with the Glasses wasn't a main focus at that point. Yet throughout that time period, I remained determined to better my content. I consistently worked on improvising my style, but avoided publishing any videos until it was up to the standards of other producers. I became focused on how to make a positively focused series entertaining. I even put quite a bit of money down on a camera. Finally ready to return to That Guy with the Glasses, I contacted Bargav with my improved series ready. Sorry if I butcher some of these names. However, while getting ready to message him, I happened to look at the website and noticed my videos were no longer in the drop-down menu. Instead of going straight to my new video, I instead brought this up. He claimed that because I hadn't produced anything in several months and hadn't contacted anyone about why, they decided to remove me. I addressed a few things. 1. I had contacted someone from the site, Holly. 2. We were all connected on Skype. If they were wondering where I went, they had my contact information immediately available. And 3. Additionally, I explained my reason for needing to take time away. They entirely ignored the first point, Apparently, talking to Holly didn't qualify as talking to the company. I got in a conversation with both Bargav and Rob, where both consistently belittled the experience I had been going through. Having a rather traumatic experience meant nothing to them. They didn't even offer sympathy. Even if they had still decided to not let me return, they could have at least acknowledged that my situation was rough. So while I don't want to accuse anyone behind Channel Awesome as being outright homophobic, they certainly don't care about the well-being of queer people. I guess the word here is indifference opposed to hatred. I would go in more detail on what exactly was happening in my personal life, but I have since reconciled with the person behind it and would prefer not to drag the details into a public spotlight. But it had gotten to the point where some people were inviting me to move in with them due to what was happening, so it was clearly severe. After spending an hour repeatedly telling me none of that was a good enough excuse, Robin Bargav told me they would discuss with Bashad whether I would be allowed to return to the site, but it was clear from their language it wasn't actually being considered. I brought up what had happened on Twitter, as I was obviously furious at having had such an abusive conversation with people I had until then looked up to. They then told me that those tweets meant I wouldn't be allowed back on, as if anyone would believe for a second they actually considered it. Afterward, I had to directly remind them that I was also an article producer and my writing was still up. They even asked if I actually wanted them to be removed. Why was that a question? They had just released me from the company on incredibly bad terms. Why would I let them keep my articles up? Yeah, the more I... Oh, hey, oh, hi, Star. Yeah, the more I read into this, the more I just... I mean, it kind of goes without saying that the people running Channel Awesome were not good people, like, at all. So it kind of goes without saying that, yeah, reading through this article, it just makes them look even worse and worse. But, oh, yeah, let me turn this up a bit. Let's make sure you can hear the music. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back to this then. Unfortunately, I was the first person let go from the site without being told. Being the first, it left the impression that my content was just that terrible. I quickly removed any contact I had with other producers, as I was convinced everyone was on their side. Even my debut video was published in the final time slot of its night. They clearly didn't want me there from the beginning. It wasn't until I saw #ChangeTheChannel mentioned on a forum that I realized they were acting the same way to everyone else. Hell, looking back, I would have loved it if they simply told me, hey, your videos are getting that great / getting enough viewers, because I could at least agree that, yeah, my first few videos weren't especially great. And I'm pretty sure that's the real reason they removed me. But instead they fumbled the conversation so badly that they had convinced me I was being let go for coming out at an inopportune time. It's saying something that even though all the actual trauma I went through while coming out, my worst memory from that era was my conversation with Rob and Bargav. Okay, and then we move on to Animerica, which I'm trying to remember because I did do some research prior to doing the stream on some of these people that I wasn't too familiar with. Excuse me. And I'm trying to remember exactly. I believe Animerica was like some kind of a series. I guess it was kind of in the same style as like Atop the Fourth Wall, where they would review anime. But in between the reviews, they would have like little skits that were like a continuing storyline or something. Like I said, I did not watch their stuff, so I wouldn't know personally. But anyway, so let's go on to this section. Animerica, Broken Promises and Other Lies. My introduction as a member of Channel Awesome was a group Skype call with Mike Mashad. During this call, we were told that the following things were going to happen for us. A. Each of us will be promoted routinely at the top of the page to draw eyes to our content. Excuse me. Doug would do a video promoting us in our video for that week, and it would also be cross-posted with his NC video for that week. Did this happen? Partially. While all of the above did happen, it only happened one time. In addition, when Doug... excuse me. When Doug promoted us, he sounded condescending and indifferent. It was barely a plug at all. I was quite put off by his attitude throughout, almost as if talking about anime was beneath him, like he was being forced to do something he had absolutely no interest in. On top of this, for no discernible reason, once the first run of us new producers was over, they incorporated all of the already established well-known producers who clearly had no need for it. Doug never again did any promotion for anyone, and being featured did very little for us in the long term. B. We will receive sponsored giveaways to go along with being featured from companies like Amazon, Humble Bundle, Gamefly, and others. Did this happen? No. Instead, when it came time for our producer spotlight, we were told that the giveaway was optional and that if we wanted to do it, we had to arrange it ourselves. There was no sponsorship, simply a free gift card. Well, I mean, if they were doing it nowadays, it'd probably be a Fortnite card or something. C. Everyone would visit this Channel Awesome studio to meet with Doug and Rob to discuss how to grow in the Channel Awesome community and develop an audience here. Did this happen? No. No offers were ever extended, no further word on this was ever heard, and when I brought it up to them I was ignored. D. New custom headers for the new Channel Awesome website will be created to reflect the producers posting videos that day, creating a dynamic eye catch that indirectly promotes everyone. Did this happen? No. Only after asking about it a few weeks later was I informed that it was being scaled back to only feature big producers like Nkara, Brad, etc., and then it was silently dropped. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you go on the site now, the banner that they have is just promoting all of Doug's stuff, which makes sense because Doug's like one of only 3 producers that's still on the site. But yeah, it hasn't been changed since then, and I just realized that I didn't have it on the right screen. Yeah, it's a real Mickey Mouse type setup I got here. You know, not great. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back to this. All right. So E. Mike said that he would be hands-on with us initially to help with our integration to the site and make sure we became members of the community. Did this happen? No. Instead, Mike would always respond to my questions and concerns as if I was annoying and or not worth this time. He always had his Skype set to unavailable, and if he responded at all, it was not until I prodded him multiple times to do so. Eventually, he ducked out entirely and assigned Greg to communicate with us, who also, after only a couple months, stopped replying with any degree of immediacy. We were never seen as assets by them, only burdens. So, yeah, that's a good attitude to have. Like, you know, hey, we're burgeoning young content creators. We want to be part of your site. And they let you on, but then they're also like, we really don't want you here. You know, we don't want to deal with your shit. Just do whatever. We don't care. And, yeah, eventually just kind of toss them to the side. You know, again, you know, real good stuff here at Channel Awesome. You know, like, unless, you know, so long as you're, you know, one of our top producers, then you'll be treated fine. But if you're just some, you know, unknowns who join the site, then who the fuck cares? Just do whatever. Anyway, punishing from the top down, minus the bottom. I would have thought that, as with anything in life, us newest in the fold would have faced the strictest environment for violating the rules set out for us. After all, we were the rookies. We were the ones who needed to be made to adapt to their way of doing things, since we never had before. Instead, on multiple occasions, Greg, possibly via Mike, doled out the harshest punishments on the veteran producers who, in every case, had never once stepped out of line. As has been well documented, Chaos D1 faced the harshest penalty, being removed from the site for being 1 day late with his second upload for the month, even though he had been with the site for years and had never been late. Tom White also experienced the same treatment when matters in his private life also caused him to be 1 day late. Exactly like D1, he was told that it was his one strike and that if he did it again, he would be permanently removed from the site. I personally witnessed all of this play out in real time. I cannot fathom how such treatment is justifiable or to any extent even intelligent. Where is the value in demoralizing the producers most loyal to your brand with the most impeccable track records of reliability? What sort of people would do blatantly disrespect and demean those who they should ostensibly value? Alright, Sorry, didn't. Oh, that wasn't up. Okay, just checking the stream real quick. How's everyone doing tonight? Hope you guys are having a good night. Just kind of chilling out. I know Liz is streaming right now. I'm sure there are a lot of people there. But, you know what? I'm just going to keep things going. We're about 33 minutes in. I guess I can go for about another half hour. Let me actually turn up the music, because it looks like it's pretty quiet. Okay. Anyway. So, one might then, at the very least, expect such obtusely stringent enforcement to happen across the board. Because if such productive members of the site would face such withering penalties, everyone else would too, right? One would be wrong. In fact, I heard from several smaller producers that they went several months in a row without publishing a video, didn't hear a word from Greg, and remained on the site with no acknowledgement whatsoever. Doug, and only Doug. While it's become a very apparent reality that Channel Awesome only cares about Doug Walker and his series somewhat recently, this has been the case since we were brought on the site, if not earlier. Near the beginning of our tenure, I was taking a look at the new website, where I noticed a sidebar widget titled Popular Videos. Not surprisingly, all of the top videos were Nostalgia Critic episodes, with maybe a Linkara video poking in once or twice. In addition, this widget was placed above the daily videos sidebar, meaning people were more likely to click away from the page featuring our videos and just watch an old video of Doug's. I contacted Greg about this and questioned the purpose of advertising Doug when the overwhelming majority of people coming to the site already did so primarily for him. I suggested that the widget could be modified so that it only included a maximum of one video from each producer. This way, other producers could find spots on the list, and possibly some of the new producers as well. Before suggesting this, I even contacted our web developer, who confirmed that such a thing was most definitely doable. Greg responded by telling me that doing such a thing would be completely impossible. Obviously, this was objectively false. But not wanting to appear hostile, I then suggested the possible addition of another sidebar that featured the most popular videos from the new producers. Call it Popular and Fresh or something like that. For the record, I suggest this because I could do it myself in WordPress. Greg said they might consider it, but it never came to pass. Instead, the Popular Videos sidebar was quietly deleted, and nothing was ever done for us, as the old takeaway for them was how immensely popular Doug was. After all, that's the only thing they care about. And then the conclusion. The entire reason why I started making videos online was because of That Guy with the Glasses. In fact, in the first two seasons of our flagship series, An America, we included Inspired by That Guy with the Glasses in our opening credits sequence. I was so excited to join the site that I posted it as a milestone in our Facebook group the day I got the news. 3 years later, I was unhappy, not valued, neglected, and getting absolutely nothing out of it. The other producers' overall misery permeated our side chat, as only a few were getting anything positive out of it anymore. What really drew the line for us was how Chaos D1 and Tom White were treated. We weren't around long enough to hear about everything else that had gone on. I had no desire to be a part of an organization that treated long-standing contributors with such disregard and disrespect. While we never personally suffered any direct abuse from the leadership there, we also never received any real aid. Our views dropped off the map, as did many others, and no one batted an eye. I do not miss Channel Awesome. I would never want to be a part of it again, and that, for me at least, is the worst part. So, yeah, not exactly leaving on a very positive note, I would say. Alright, looks like the chat's kind of dying right now. But that's fine. You know, like, I'm fine if it's just one person viewing or if it's 5,000 people viewing. You know, the only thing that really matters to me is just the fact that anyone's watching this. So, for those of you out there who are watching this, thank you so much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me. Anyway, I guess I got time for maybe one more section of the document, so let's keep going. So now we go to Tom White, who is another person I looked up. I'm not quite sure who Tom White was because I'm not familiar with them. Let's see, what did from what I looked up, hang on, I actually might have gotten it mixed up with somebody else. Let me just go ahead and hide my screen for a sec, because I'm pretty sure I looked them up. Okay, yeah, he went by the alias, He Is an Evil Genius on Blister Thumbs, and, okay, yeah, I'm looking at his article on the Channel Awesome wiki, and, let's see. Yeah, apparently he would write text reviews of weird games, from his own website, and, he decided to create his own videos on the subject. And, yeah, he was mostly featured on Blister Thumbs, which, for those of you who have seen some of the previous streams, you would know that, that Blistered Thumbs was a site that Channel Awesome created specifically for game reviewers, but it did not last very long. I think it only lasted for maybe like a year or so before it bit the dust. So, yeah, it's no surprise that he didn't last for very long. But anyway, let's get to his part of the document. Tom White. Okay, so Mike Dodd. Mike Birdman Dodd had worked really hard on Blistered Thumbs. He created daily content for a long while. He also had extensive background in PR and promotional work, and had a number of contacts in the industry that he tried to use to help promote the site. He offered his expertise to Mashad lots of times, even including drafting up formal proposals to help turn the site into a successful gaming website. He was completely ignored, and later Blistered Thumbs tanked. When they migrated all the BT producers over to That Guy with the Glasses, they ignored Mike Dodd and essentially dropped him from the site without telling him. I was in a Skype call with Mashad when he was explaining how to use the That Guy with the Glasses system when he casually mentioned that Dodd was going to be let go. Mike had to hear the news from me. Here's a recording from the Skype call. Okay, it looks like this is an audio file. Oh, okay. Let me just go ahead and hide my screen for a second. Okay. Okay, so yeah, let me just go back here. Let's go ahead and shut the music off. Alright, and then we'll play this excerpt. So, here we go.
Alright, also, I believe Mike Dodd was waiting for his password too, so I think he's online right now, but...
I mean, that's the one person where you might not be bringing in, so... I thought I had you from before. I thought you were part of the group meeting with all these stuff. So. But yeah, that's pretty much it, I think.
Okay, so yeah, that was basically Mashad telling Tom White that Mike Dodd was no longer on the site. And as you can see from the comments, a lot of people share the same sentiment, including this person who said, "Damn, what a fuck face." Yeah, indeed. They indeed are a big fuckface. Let me just go ahead and bring the music back up. Okay. Close out that. And then let me just make sure. There we go. Okay. Before this had happened, I was really passionate about Channel Awesome. After the way Mike Dodd was treated, I lost my enthusiasm for the site. I just kind of kept on, but no longer felt any particular loyalty. Video game music contest. I've been talking to Mashad about running a trivia contest on my channel, and he liked the idea. I was going to offer my own prize, but Mashad insisted on using a Sega Genesis he had laying around the office as a prize. I was reluctant because at this point, his reputation was that he could be untrustworthy about this sort of thing, but I said sure. So, yeah, so instead of letting this guy, Tom White, offer up his own prize for this giveaway, Mashad basically was like, we got a Sega Genesis here, collecting dust or whatever, just give this thing away. Like, what? I mean, that'd be like if I decided to run a giveaway where instead of giving like away something really cool, I just went to my old DVD collection and just pulled a random DVD out and said, here you go, have this. Yeah. Anyway, the contest ended. I contacted the winner and got their address. The winner was in Russia, and immediately I was nervous that would make the game system expensive to ship, and I had a feeling Mashad would try to tell me that wasn't the deal or something. Let me check the chat real quick. It looks like the music might be a little loud, so let's turn that down a bit. I'm also going to turn it down on my end, since it's a little loud. Okay. So I forwarded the address to Mashad. He didn't bat an eye at the fact that it was Russia, and told me it would be sent out immediately. I followed up later, and he told me it was sent out. Months went by, and the winner never received the prize. I asked Mashad about it, and he ignored my messages. The winner told me that if it was mailed out, the post office would have given him some kind of customs number, even if there was no tracking information, and asked if that could be provided. I asked Mashad and got no reply. And here we got a screenshot of him sending messages out. First one from November 1st. Hey Mike, my contest winner still hasn't received the Sega. Were you given a USPS customs form number? Then a few days later, he said that when you send a package via USPS, they give you some kind of number of something. Do you happen to keep one? And then a few days later, did that Sega you sent out get returned in the mail or anything? The contest winner still hasn't received it or heard any word about it. And as you can see, all these messages were completely ignored. I was in a really difficult position because I didn't want to badly represent Channel Awesome and my boss by telling the winner it's not my fault, but I was given nothing to work with. Eventually, after like 6 months with no prize, I had to apologize to the winner and send him an Amazon gift card instead. Years later, I sent the winner an email again and still no prize. If Mashad actually did deliver the prize as promised, my best guess is that the package got returned and he never said a word to me about it, even after repeated follow-ups. And then we get to my booting. By the end of 2016, a lot of people had been kicked off the site for minor reasons. Allison getting booted was particularly ridiculous. I knew that Allison had been more outspoken than other producers, and although I thought it was stupid to remove her from the site, I figured Michelle was just petty and lashed out at anyone who would disagree with his methods. So I kept my head down and just did my best to be professional and compliant. Their 2 videos a month policy was extremely difficult. They had removed Ross Scott and Guru Larry from the site for not producing content fast enough, which is bizarre to me since both had between 100,000 and 200,000 subscribers and were some of the bigger draws. Guru Larry was reinstated later, and he's still there today. Not necessarily, I think, because he likes Channel Awesome, but because he finds it funny that he's still there. Like he's on there as a joke, which, you know, I can respect that. Anyway, I was feeling constant stress trying to work within their time constraints, but I managed to keep up with their policy. Then I ended up having to move. I contacted Greg and let him know the situation, and I said I think I'd be able to do 2 videos a month during October and November, but because of the move, I might not be able to. He said that was fine. I actually still managed to put out 2 in October as usual, and only 1 in November. So I still did alright. In December, I finished the first video early on in the month, but at the end of the month, I ended up not finishing my video until the 30th, but had some issues with the final product that had to be fixed. Seeing that I needed a little extra time to finish and upload it to YouTube, I scheduled the video for January 1st instead of the 31st. I figured it wouldn't be a big deal, because I'd known other producers who had been lax, and I figured since I gave Greg a heads up about my situation, it would be easily understandable that the move was still affecting me. I honestly didn't think he'd even notice. I was already removed from the site, and my login was revoked the next day. I've been with Channel Awesome for 6 years. I've been completely professional and reliable, never argumentative for even a moment. I did volunteer work for them and their charity live streams, and they removed me instantly the moment I was late on 1 video after I already warned them of my situation. I actually think the only reason I got removed at all was because after I warned them of my move, they were waiting to see if I messed up so they could remove me instantly. Other producers had not produced content in months and never got removed. After I talked to Greg, he told me I would get 1 last chance and that was it. Any more issues and I would be kicked off the site for good. And then we get another Skype chat here. So the first one I'm assuming is Tom and then Greg. So hi, I can't seem to log into CA files. It's saying I'm blocked or I haven't activated it yet. And I seem to have been removed from the show listings. Is this because I'm late putting out a second video this month? I did advise that I was moving and it would affect my schedule for the next couple of months. I was under the impression this was not going to be a problem. Hey, you advised that you were moving in October and it would affect that month in November. However, you never mentioned anything for December or contacted me to let me know, and you only had one video up for the month. No, but I put out my second October video and I'm only a day late on my December video. A day late is still a day late for December. If you contacted me ahead of time, letting me know you would be a little late, it would have been fine, but I received no contact. This is the first misstep since I've been with you guys in 6 years. I understand that, but rules are rules with us. No one is getting special treatment for this because it would be unfair. Now, if you would like to get back on the site, you need to have 2 videos ready to go before we add you back. When you have 2 videos ready, message me and I'll go ahead and add you back on. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And this is on January 1st of 2017. And then at the end of the month, Greg responds with, okay, this is your one and only strike. If this happens again, you will be off the site for good. 2 videos per month, and if for some reason you can't make it, message me to let me know. 1 or 2 messages are missing from the screenshot because of how Skype saves message history across different devices. I probably sent Greg the link to the new videos on my phone or something. And then Chaos D1, who I mentioned before, getting removed from the site. So, Chaos D1. Chaos D1 got kicked off the site in much the same manner as me. He didn't put up a second video 1 month, but while they'd established the rule was that you'd always get 1 second chance, he was refused a second chance because he had happened to run a poll asking people on Twitter whether they still watch him on Channel Awesome or just on YouTube. This is the last straw for me. I didn't want to sit around and wait for the next time I accidentally make some minor mistake that would have kicked me off permanently, but I couldn't support them after seeing how they treated so many of their producers, employees, and fans. I made plans to leave after that and never looked back. So, let me just check the chat real quick, see what's going on. Been on for about 50 minutes. Chat seems to be kind of dying. Let's see what the next section is. Oh, okay. So the next section is on the Nostalgia Chick show. So this should definitely be the juicier section. Let's see. How long does this go for? Oh, it goes for quite a few pages. And then after that we get some anonymous people. And then Iron Liz. Let's see. Leslie Rice. Okay. You know what? I think I might save these next few sections with like Lindsay Ellis and whatnot for next time. Just because I've been going for about 50 minutes now, and I think this would probably be a good stopping point. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull up my usual stuff to promote, because that's what I like to do. I like to shill whenever I can, you know, whore myself out when I get the chance to. So let's see. Okay, so as per usual, I have the website filmnerd.com. Well, film-nerd.com. I try to post reviews up every so often, just very frequently. The most recent review I've got is Tales from the Crapper for my Trauma Tuesday series. This movie was... It's a mess, but it's kind of an entertaining mess, so definitely one to check out. I also did reviews on Free Guy, and I capped off my Summer of Slasher series with Friday the 13th Part 2. So, yeah, as always, you can go ahead and check that out. I've also got a Patreon, which you can donate to. Oops. Okay, no, wait, this is fine. You know, I got several word tiers set up, where if you donate, you can get special roles in the Discord, access to certain channels in the Discord, and also a spot on the patrons page on my website, as well as monthly review requests if you donate to the highest tier. And then, of course, I got the YouTube channel, which, if you're watching this, I'm assuming you're on YouTube. So, you know, go ahead and subscribe. I'm getting very close to hitting 100 subscribers. If I manage to hit 100, I will be doing something very, very special for you guys. So for those of you who decided to stop in, say hi, and spend your evening with me, thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry if the stream is a little shorter than most, but I figured I got enough in for one stream. So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Look forward to more reviews coming soon. This weekend, I'm planning on getting out some more video reviews because I've been kind of slacking off on those. But until then, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.